Right. So, hello everyone. My name is Suchi. Chinese is called Liang Suqi, Suqi. Very similar to the Hong Kong actress kind of pronunciation, Suqi.
Wow.
Yeah, but definitely don't look like that. Um, so Alfred, just to share a bit of background, Alfred has already covered a lot of things actually. And I won't go through most of them, but I would say during my 12 years in IBM, at the end of it, which was closer to 2021, that was when I was having a very good life, right? I was at the peak of my career. I did very well in IBM itself, climbed the corporate ladder all the way to a senior manager position in the finance department, in the financing unit of IBM. I got married to a very loving and very supportive husband. So we had a very good relationship. Um, I was enjoying life, I would say. And then 2021, which was during the COVID and MCO period, I delivered my first child, right? And you can see, back then I was still very happy, cuddling my little joy of abundance. It was it was a very difficult pregnancy and a very difficult delivery, but I, I went through all of that. I thought, okay, this is it. Now I just have to focus on taking care of my baby, right? But things doesn't always go smoothly in life, and it always doesn't go as expected in life. And after 10 days of delivery, actually this happened. So what happened was I did a I do not know whether it's called a mistake or not, but I bathed. I bathed in a I guess in a Chinese traditional method, you will call it the wrong way of bathing, where I thought, I can bathe any way I want. There's so many people who bathe. I don't have a very good traditional Chinese confinement kind of knowledge. I thought, well, everyone bathes and it's fine, it's perfect. I cannot stand my hair being so oily and smelly. I have to go and bathe. I took my own sweet time enjoying my bath. I think I spent about 40 to 45 minutes in the bathroom. And when I came out, that was when I felt totally different. So, what happened was, I think my pores seems to have opened and it doesn't seem to be able to close back up again. I developed very high sensitivity to sensations. So I could, somehow feel extreme high sensitivity to like wind, and cold. Um, and in Chinese, they will say, ya feng ah, masuk angin lah, Malay say masuk angin lah, right? And those are very, very, very scary sensations, to be honest, because literally our environment has a lot of wind. Our environment has, temperature changes as well. So although during the confinement period, we'll say, okay, don't turn on the fan, our aircon put to as high as you can. But the extent of my sensitivity was even up to the level where if there is wind circulation, it's very painful for me. And even at the degree of 29 Celsius and 30 Celsius, which is the maximum that you can go with aircon, it was very painful for me. It was too cold for me. I felt like icy cold at the temperature of 30 Celsius. So that was how crazy it was. And when I off the aircon, don't turn off the fan, it feels so extremely hot. Um, of course, I would sweat, right? So basically, I do not know how to live with the environment. And somehow I was perspiring uncontrollably. This was my look, I didn't have a bath. Okay, you look at how wet my hair was. It wasn't from a bath, it was actually from my sweat. And uh, and you can see that I have a lot of sweat. And this was my state, like every minute, every second. Every 5 minutes, I have to change my shirt because it will be all wet. I couldn't sleep at night. Very terrible insomnia. Back then, it was just like 15 minutes of sleep a day. I do not know how to survive, but then, yeah, it wasn't functioning normally, of course. And there was a lot of inability to regulate, not only to the environment, even my body temperature was going up and down. I remember I had to quarantine myself because during the COVID period, when I was, when I went to visit the hospital, they thought that I had a fever. They thought that I have a COVID, so I was being quarantined during my confinement period, and then my child was left alone in the confinement center without our parents. So yeah, those were the days. Even eating, bathing, etc. All those actually requires a lot of work and regulation in the body, which I think I've always taken it for granted. I didn't know that our body's immune system actually includes regulating to both environment and to ourselves. It's yeah, it actually requires a lot of work. Okay, the defense system, and that was basically gone. So of course you can imagine with my states like that, my anxiety was extremely high. Trying to live in an environment, I tried many ways to try to solve this problem. Went to the hospitals, did a lot of checks, blood tests, everything came out okay, normal. We even stayed. I even stayed in the hospital for a few days to just try to find out what was my reason, and nothing was found. I did TCM supplements, etc., but some improvements, not much. Okay. And also I kind of developed morning stiffness. So when I wake up in the morning, I can't move my fingers. During the beginning of the period, it took 4 hours to actually be able to move my fingers. But over time, of course, I think after 2 years or so, it improved a lot. I had carpal tunnel syndrome as well. And I guess because of the high anxiety and the lack of sleep, I had acid reflux, very, very bad acid reflux, very, very bad gastric. I basically have to go to the specialist. Because I was like at night 3 to 4 times, I need to take some food to suppress or to manage my acid. If not, I cannot lie down. Then the doctor gave me 2 months of Nexum, which is the maximum that you can take. Still doesn't work. And basically, I was just relying on a lot of medications back then. Whenever there's acid reflux, I'll take Gaviscon, but it doesn't really work as well. And with in order to solve my sleeping issues, I went to the psychiatrist to get sleeping medicines. And but even the maximum of the sleeping hours that I can get was between 2 to 4 hours, despite with the medicine. So yeah, those were my days. And I think the change happened when I finally found Buying Qigong in November 2022. That was about close to 2 years of suffering badly. Of course, when I take TCM, etc., it helped, but the improvement wasn't that significant, still suffering. And I have to tell you about the story about Qigong as well, because if it's not because of Qigong, I wouldn't have so much faith with Life Wave. So when I out of desperation, I try here, try there, and this was the solution that I tried next about Qigong. And after doing Qigong, I was actually quite amazed with the results as well, because I managed to fall asleep without taking my anti-anxiety pill. So I thought, wow, amazing, Qigong. So it turns out that whatever the ancient traditional kind of Chinese medication word was real, or which is qi, energy flow. They call it qi in the body, and that regulates a lot of how your body function. So when I practice qigong, I think it increases that energy flow, and instantly I can see improvements. So I continue to actively practice. Oh, by the way, given my state, uh, I tried to go back to work, but then because I wasn't recovered, so everything triggered again, and then I had to stop my work, and I was entirely on a career break in 2021, right? Yeah. Then then it was resting at home, but a lot of the months I wasn't with my child as well, because I can't take care of her until when I do qigong. Then I manage to sleep, and also slowly I can feel some difference in the sense that the sensitivity becomes a bit lesser. My gastric reflux also has a lot of improvement, but still back then I cannot touch anything that is oily, anything that's spicy, anything that is cold, anything that is raw. It will instantly trigger my acid reflux. So my lifestyle was actually very, very restricted and very, very controlled. But a lot of improvements with qigong, until I thought, okay, now it's time that I can send my child to school, which is she was 3 years old. I feel probably, I need to go back to work already. I've been on career break for 2 years, right? And so because of the changes in life, I think it creates anxiety as well, and stress, and a lot of things triggered again. So I couldn't sleep again, acid reflux, and I was like, gosh, although I'm practicing qigong quite actively, but I'm still having a lot of these issues. And if I start work, it's going to be terrible, right? Because of all the stress we know from work, this is disastrous. But I guess sometimes God or universe has its power. It delivered Life Wave to me at the very right timing, where I need to really thank my sponsor for introducing Life Wave to me, and she's actually my daughter's school principal. Okay, Ellen, I'm not sure whether she's in this call, but she came to me, she introduced to me, she said, she was saying that, I wasn't doing any work, right? Career, no income. So why not try Life Wave as a business? So back then I was like, okay, let me just find out. And then when I sat through the presentation, it wasn't really about the business aspect that attracted me, but it was everything that they said was very similar to the concepts from Qigong. So they talk about light, talk about energy, and how it stimulates the repair and healing function of your body. It talks about healing reactions, right? Talks about meridian points, which I had a lot of exposure when I was learning Qigong. And instantly, I believe in the product. I had a lot of faith. I felt that this is exactly like the ancient energy healing, but being blended or being turned into modern technology. It was being technologized, if that's such word. So So I was like, okay, let me try. And when I bought the product, of course there was a keyword saying that which increases my confidence. I was surprised by the results, whereby I always had these constipation issues, right? So when I patch it, I think instantly it realizes that my body needed detox. So I kept going to the toilet. It wasn't like the diarrhea form of, you know, purging, but it was just constant going to the toilet, like a bit of detox feeling for 3 to 4 days. And I had, I have insomnia issues, right? I always wake up in the middle of the night. I'm a very light sleeper. But that night, the first day itself, when I patched, at night I could sleep so well that even when my girl was crying, I had a hard time waking up. I had to drag my body to get up. And that was when I felt very, very amazed by this product. Then I continued using it. Of course, there was a lot of healing reactions, but a lot of improvements throughout the way. And also my gastric issue. I used to needing to wake up like 3 to 4 times, right? But that night onwards, I didn't have to wake up at all uh, at night to drink something. So it was amazing. Um, and then I just continued to patch now, and I managed to go back to work. Even my state of happiness somehow increased. Um, Maybe I've heard that Life Wave can also repair your auto nervous system, and that is the function that controls our anxiety and nervousness and hormones. So I felt happy and energetic when I patched Life Wave. So fast forward, I've been patching that since March 2024, and it's been 1.5 years down the road now. I'm not sure if you know what you see, but personally, I'm very happy with the results. Even the picture itself, I can see myself. Oh, the first picture looks so dull, like there's no energy in my eyes. My smile felt very forceful. After 1 month of patching, I already started to see results. Wasn't that pale anymore, and then um, blood circulation was improving. But after further 1.5 years down the road, this is the third picture. I just took it last night for this presentation. um, I could see myself actually looking much more energetic, my eyes especially, and my smile feels so much cheerful, so real, much real. Even my face, right? Back then I was trying to eat a lot of things, but I still maintained to be very thin. Now I see that my face was uplifted, wasn't that saggy, and it seems that I was able to put on some weight, which I was very happy. So, of course, a lot of the issues that I mentioned improved. But not only that, I had quite a few of a surprise results. My immunity actually improved a lot. Back then, I used to fall sick very easily. I remember 1 year I can fall sick like 3 to 4 times, and it's quite the major sickness. Whenever my child has fallen sick, even though those are sickness that typically adults will not fall sick to, but I fall sick, like stomach flu, like the mouth and hand, foot, mouth and disease, all those, the head herpangina, I actually had experienced that. But after patching for so long, for this 1.5 years, I've only fallen sick once, which is the influenza A, right? And I'm not that scared anymore, because I realized that, even before my delivery, my body actually used to be quite weak. I used to fall sick very easily. So I was very scared of people surrounding me who cough, who's not well. But now, even if people around me is sick, right? Um, I I don't fall sick. I haven't fallen sick actually. And then my ulcers last time, even before delivery, I it just never recover. I think my metabolism was slower. So it will be like 2 weeks and it's still there until I need to put some steroids, then it will recover. But after patching, I realized that if I eat any heaty food, I have ulcers. It just take 5 days to recover by itself without any medicine. So I was amazed. And then not only that, like I have higher tolerance for heaty fried food. I used to take fried food and instantly I'll have sore throat, but now I feel perfectly okay. I can eat a lot of various range of food. Um, anything, it doesn't trigger my gastric as well. I can eat anything. I can even drink alcohol, no issues. Sleeping, I sleep like a baby now. And my sensitivity to environment was also perfectly okay. Even back then, when I had a high sensitivity at that time, I touched phone, right? Phone has radiation. It can be very, very painful for me. So especially when the battery is low or when it's charging, oh, I will know even though I don't see the battery level because suddenly I feel this intense pain. But now I'm okay. I can use the phone. I mean, sometimes it still feel discomfort. I know there's radiation, but then at least it's not that bad anymore. So and also stress tolerance has improved a lot. So yeah, so this is a lot of the improvements since using LifeWave. Um, and I guess let me share with you now about LifeWave as a career in the business. So Alfred was sharing, right? An entrepreneur to be. So let me share, maybe what my thoughts are and why I've just recently decided that LifeWave would be a career, my future career. And why I say career rather than just a business, because career is a long-term thing, right? Business is just about making money, but career is long-term thing, is where you actually invest your skills in and also you grow with the company and with the business. So I actually prefer to call it as my future career rather than just purely a business. So I was sharing, I have a lot of improvements. I actually went back to work, right? And I was working for the past 1 year. And as I was working for this past 1 year, I actually felt um, that somehow I lost the same motivation, and I wasn't that fulfilled anymore. That drive that I had, or the passion that I had last time when I was working in IBM, was totally gone. My mindset seems to have shifted. Perspective of life, I guess, after having such a terrible, horrible health experiences, it's pretty normal to want to appreciate your own health and your work-life balance as well. Um, and also, even solving problems, I don't feel as passionate to solve the corporate problems as compared as to what I find that in terms of the real world, there's actually a lot of real human problems like health, mental issues, relationships, uh, that you know these are real problems. um, and I have more. I actually have more inclination to want to solve this problem instead. So after 1 year down the road, just very recently, um, my boss also got retrenched, and my role, we discussed about it. We know that it's going to be a very risky role. Uh, Highly likely it's going to be the next to be retrenched. And my boss even tell me, go out and find a job. And as I was looking through, I went through a few interviews as well. I realized that this is really not what I want. And so I started my own self-discovery journey, some meditations and healing. And I started to list down what I want, what I don't want, and what I can make adjustment for, right? Um, so as I look into myself intrinsically, I realized that I want flexibility. I want the ability to be able to have my health, to be able to have manage my stress as well. I have a child now. Life is different. I want time for my family. a balanced lifestyle. I want to be motivated by doing something that actually is fulfilling, and able to touch and inspire people. Also a place where I can be true and genuine to myself, and at the same time personal growth and sustainable income. So it was really more also about the person that I want to become, right? To be, which is an inspirational person as well. So I list down all of this, and I also list down like the external factors that's going on. So I am currently working in another IT MNC company, and but the center here is a software developer hub, right? So I'm surrounded by software developers. I'm living in an IT field, and every day there's the talk and the pressure of AI. And because of AI and because of the economy, which is being quite slow and with a lot of volatility, it has put a lot of pressure to the corporates, and a lot of retrenchments are going on. In fact, a lot of the departments is being forced to retrench for a percentage that is shocking. I was, just shared that one of the department had to retrench like 75% of the headcounts because of AI. And I see the risk. I see that there's actually a very high risk in the corporate employment right now. And also in my own corporate, right? There's a high risk of retrenchment. And whatever jobs that is remaining in corporate, it's really, the expectation is really to lead in a very highly stressful environment where you're expected to be tough, to be resilient, to lead the change, lead the transformation, manage the volatility. And this was also what I've gained through the numerous interviews that I went to. These are the expectations, and in fact they will upfront ask you, can you do this, right? And I was like, I think I can. I have the capability, but I don't want, right? I don't want to go back to that world again, and trigger everything again. No, and I don't want to sacrifice my time with my family. I don't want to work long hours. So I was starting to explore out. I need to diversify myself. I need to find something else. I cannot see the future in for myself, not for everyone, but for myself in the corporate world, where if I don't want to climb the corporate ladder, I just want to, to be comfortable in terms of my working hours, then where's the future for me in the corporate if I don't climb the corporate ladder? Right? And in the same time, having a high risk of being retrenched. And I don't want to be, after 10 or 20 years working in the corporate world, I've at least another 25 years, I guess, of working. I don't want to be after 10 years and suddenly because of my pay is high and then I got retrenched and I have to start from scratch somewhere else. So why not build something now, right? And as I was exploring, I realized that there's one that really, really, truly called out to me, was LifeWave, is LifeWave. It can give me everything that I want intrinsically, which are, it can also, the potential, I would say, is also highly there. Right? We know that the health and wellness industry is one that is very resilient through the economy. And somehow, after COVID, after all the vaccinations, a lot of the aging issues seems to have gotten earlier. You will find 30 plus years would be having the high blood tension, diabetes, even stroke, cancer. So it's everywhere, right? Very rampant right now. So there's a lot of potential there. And I see that LiveWave is actually network marketing, right? So network marketing, I can see that the risk is lower. It cannot be fully replaced by AI because network marketing is about human relationships. And I can see the income potential. Not only that, I was more attracted to the passive income potential. So I share with you a bit about what happened when I had to take my career break. I spent a lot of money looking for alternative treatments, right? And nothing works. But when I wasn't working itself, I still have, our ongoing living expenses to spend on. And in just 1 year, about 100K was gone. Okay, 100K per year. So if one day, if I'm not working when I'm old, how do I, and if let's say I have a lot of, health issues, right? Again, how am I going to sustain that? Uh, I think passive income is very important, but it's so difficult right now because it's very difficult to do an investment as well. Real properties are just not possible. Shares are risky, and if I want to work on business also, it needs human capital requirements, so it's not that easy. But LiveWave can give you this flexible working hours, balanced life. I can use LiveWave and gain my health and use it for free at the same time if I actually focus on having this as my business. And not only that, I've seen it has already transformed my life. I've seen how it has touched and transformed so many people's life. I've seen a lot of people like having cancer or diabetes or stroke able to walk again, people who has lost their hearing ability able to hear again, people who are in coma able to miraculously wake up with LiveWave. It's an amazing product. It is one place that I truly can serve with sincerity and with be myself, I would say. And given my experience, I'm totally passionate about LiveWave. I mean, I can share very, very easily because of what I went through. And there's so many benefits, like the product itself work very effectively. So I think it's very easy to share because upon using itself, you can actually feel that it's working on your body. There's some reactions already. And one thing that also really attracted me in LiveWave is the leaders, right? There's so many network marketing out there, but very few of them can resonate with me. But this one, the leaders' values, given that it's a very natural kind of alternate treatment, very holistic, and you can see that the leaders there, like people like Jinlong, people like Alfred, like my upline KH or Mr. Liu, they are all very inspirational. They genuinely want to help people to live a better life and a healthier life, and they really will see through to it and help you to gain back your health and serve you in that manner. And I want to be able to do that as well. So these are the people that I look up to and I'm inspired by. And that's also where I'm looking for in terms of my personal growth, to expand my knowledge here, my skills here. It's a totally new field, new area, but I'm willing to unlearn and relearn everything, train myself again, because I think this is the future and this is the person I want to become and this is the place I want to be, right? Not mentioning as it's a low startup cost. So yeah, in a nutshell, this kind of shared, my background, my story, my health story. To be honest, it was actually very emotional and very painful as I prepared these slides because it brought back a lot of painful memories. But I was so worried that I would cry when I was sharing, but I'm glad that everything went well and no crying. And also why I've decided that life wave would be my future and would be my career. So yeah, thank you for hearing me out.